It is 7:30 on the dot this morning. The state of Spokane's hospitals, growing Idaho case numbers, and the testing programs that are coming to Spokane public schools. This morning, we've got everything you need to know about COVID-19 in the inland Northwest. Plus, the COVID vaccine is a new type of vaccine that uses mRNA. How does it work? We'll explain in the next 5 minutes. And a Spokane native is headed to space again.
When I was a little girl growing up in Spokane, Washington, becoming an astronaut, like nobody did that.
This morning, how Ann McLean is helping blaze the trail for the first woman to set foot on the moon.
And we are taking a look outside where we've got the sun coming up. I'm going to let you know if you see it or not today before our next round of snow arrives.
Up with KREM begins now.
You know, everyone's getting into this holiday spirit thing a little early this year, I guess, because it turns out it's leading to a little bit of a Christmas tree shortage. We're 15 days away from the holiday, and the trees are hard to find now. So this morning we want to see your Christmas trees. I love seeing some of these. Look, there's a Charlie Brown one there for you, Jeremy, just like you were talking about.
Love it.
Send us your photos to 509-448-2000. Tell us how you're decorating your tree this year. Tell us, did you get a tree extra early, or are you still looking? What's your situation? Jeremy, you got one of each, right?
Yeah, I got a tiny little live one and then a fake one that's about that tall. So okay. I guess they're both kind of tiny, but Joshua, you know, growing up, we didn't always get Charlie Brown Christmas trees at the house. We got those nice full ones. We would go out as a family and cut them down. And then one year, I'm not saying anyone had anything to do with this, but the tree came off the car driving home. The car behind it ran it over, and from then on, we just decided to get Charlie Brown Christmas trees.
That's chapter one of the story. We got to come back to it later because you got to let us know what's up on our Thursday forecast.
All right, let's do it. Sun coming up, looking kind of beautiful over there at Silver Mountain. You can see the sun rising off in the distance. Absolutely incredible. Are you going to see it today? Depends on where you are, because quite a few locations socked in the fog or under some low-hanging clouds. At the airport, that's where you are going to find some of that fog. Walla Walla as well. Visibility reduced this morning as some of the moisture from yesterday's rain still hangs out down near the ground. We got a weak little ridge of high pressure that pushes that moisture down to the ground. It condenses as temperatures drop. And then by the time it starts to break up, we get a round of clouds moving in as we head into the afternoon. So here you go. Moves in, but look at the snow. Works its way in as we get into Friday morning. We'll get that right in time for the morning commute. That means it will likely be a nasty commute tomorrow, despite the lack of any sort of significant snow. About an inch by the time it's all said and done. You scoot out to North Idaho, could get about 2. So enjoy today. It's kind of our break before that next round of snow. And if you love snow, I've got good news about this weekend.
Ooh, good news. Okay. All right. Nice teaser. So we got chapter storytelling, good news coming up. A lot to look forward to in your forecast coming up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, here's 3 things that you need to know about the coronavirus today. Number 1, Spokane area ICUs are operating at 80% capacity this morning. And the county's interim health officer, Dr. Frank Velasquez, says healthcare leaders across the region are trying to stay ahead of increased demand.
There's such demand that could get to the point of overloading the capacity that we have. So the best way to prevent that is the way we're doing it. And we also have strategies to mitigate in the event that we see an increase in patients going forward into the next several weeks.
Washington State considers that 80% mark to be the maximum acceptable level of occupancy. Number 2, across state line, the Panhandle Health District is reporting 11 new deaths for a total of 140 deaths in North Idaho from COVID-19. The district also reports 419 new coronavirus cases, with 67 people reportedly in the hospital today. Number 3, Spokane Public Schools will participate in a COVID-19 testing program. It's one of the 10 districts across Washington State set to do so. And SPS hopes to start it in January. So if all goes well, the program could expand to other districts. Over the next few weeks, staff and families will be further educated on testing protocol, the COVID-19 tests themselves, volunteer testing, and contact tracing. In the meantime, just 1 dose of the vaccine might not be enough. Here's what we know so far in regards to the 2-shot process for the COVID-19 vaccine. KREM 2's Regina On broke it down.
Once you get that first shot, the wait to be immune is not over. Pfizer requires doses to be taken 3 weeks apart. Moderna requires 4 weeks between shots. It's common for vaccines to require 2 or more doses. The chickenpox vaccine, the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine require 2 doses. The tetanus shot requires 3. People can expect some side effects with the COVID vaccines, including fatigue, muscle pain, fever, or chills for a day or 2 after receiving the shot. Some experts, including researchers at the University of Michigan, worry those symptoms and other factors like no-show rates for medical appointments and conspiracy theories, as much as 30% of the population may not get the second dose COVID-19 vaccine.
Now, as the FDA considers emergency use approval of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine today, many of you still have plenty of questions about the vaccine, so we're turning to our sister station in Houston, who explains how the coronavirus vaccine works.
There are 330 vaccine candidates being worked on all over the world. 11 are in clinical trials in the U.S. Here's what they're all working toward: making the body produce antibodies which protect against COVID-19. How they do that depends on the specific vaccine. Pfizer and Moderna are the furthest along in clinical trials with their messenger RNA vaccines, which is a brand new method never approved in the U.S. before. The idea is messenger RNA sends a message to the body to create what are called spike proteins. Those proteins are found on the outside of novel coronavirus cells. Once your body forms spike proteins, it triggers an immune response. So if you ever come in contact with the real COVID-19, which also has spike proteins, your body will already have the antibodies to fight it off. The messenger RNA vaccine contains no live virus, so experts say you cannot get COVID-19 from the shot. Early results from Pfizer and Moderna's clinical trials have shown their mRNA vaccines are 95% effective in preventing symptoms of COVID-19. What we don't know is how long that immunity lasts.
And Washington is set to receive its first batch of COVID vaccines in the coming days. We've been getting plenty of questions from you, including the latest on why KREM launched our vaccine team to help bring you some of those answers. So this week, we took several of your vaccine questions to Dr. Anna Wald. She's a professor of medicine at the University of Washington and the head of the Division of Allergy and Infectious Diseases for the school. She's also worked on numerous vaccines during her career. And here's her answer to one of the most common questions we've seen from so many of you.
Can you spread COVID after you get the vaccine?
That's a really great question, and the answer is we don't know. Because we now have data to show that at least 2 of the vaccines reduce the disease caused by the virus, but we don't know to what extent infection is reduced.
Now, do you have a question that you want our KREM 2 vaccine team to answer? You can text it to us at 509-448-2000. We will be working, as we have continued to do over the past few months, to bring you all of the facts. Hey, it's safe to say that Anne McClain is out of this world. You get it? Space puns are coming. Coming up also, how this Spokane native is helping to make history, plus other big space news on the way.
And we've got a little bit of sunshine up in those higher elevations. Not so much down low. I'm going to let you know why and what that means for our forecast as we look at our next round of snow.